Hello and welcome to Not Gambling Advice, the baseball betting stream on the Just Baseball Network. It is Friday, April 21st, and I got you for two MLB best bets. I got you for a prize picks entry. We're going to go over the model. And then from 5 to 6:30, the greater half of this Twitch stream, we are going to welcome on 9 of our favorite MLB cappers in order for them to give you their bets. It's going to be a great stream. Again, we do this every Monday through Friday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern to 6:30 p.m. Eastern to get you ready for the night slate of baseball. It's a blast. I have a ton of fun doing it. And the great part about it is, if you subscribe to this Twitch channel, it's not just any regular subscription. This is a competition between myself and all the other cappers here. Whoever has the most units at the end of the season will win World Series tickets. Second place gets a $500 cash prize. The reason you should subscribe is if I win or I get second place, I'm giving my prize to one of the subscribers of this Twitch channel. And of course, all game pick lines are sponsored by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Make sure to use code JBFANS. That's JBFANS. Wager $10 on any MLB money line and get up to $100 in instant bonus bets. And when I say get up to, you will get $100 in bonus bets on the king of sportsbook. Absolute no-brainer. Before we get into anything, let's do a quick recap of how we did yesterday on stream. Bang! Woo! What a sweater. You kidding me? Pittsburgh versus Cincinnati. I'm walking home. I'm going to go to Trader Joe's. I got to get myself some dinner, and I got the game on my phone, walking and listening, and I see Connor Joe take a 3-2 pitch over the center field wall. I think to myself, well, that was a fun bet for 30 seconds. Then Jack Sawinski follows up with a home run, and I'm sitting in my apartment 4-0 with a first 5 under bet. Not ideal. Very sweaty. But only 3 more hits were given up in the first 5 innings, and we hit our first 5 under. That doesn't happen a lot, but at the same time, we got screwed by an over 2 days before that when it was 2-2 going to the bottom of the ninth. That's baseball. That's why it's the best sport in the world. And just so we're all aware, Drew Smyly is doing something. All right? Drew Smyly is doing something. So if I look over, if I take a little break, it's because I'm watching Drew Smyly do something, if you catch my drift. I totally understand if you want to pay more attention to the Dodgers versus the Cubs game. But what I will give you is my best bets, my prize picks entry. We'll go over the model, and then we'll welcome on all the great MLB cappers that we have on today. Producer Cohen, I think it's... What?
Oh, sorry, Astros.
What about the Astros?
First pick for you.
First pick, Astros. Why not us? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the Astros versus the Braves team total. We're going to be on Apple TV for this game too. And just a precursor, I wanted to play the Astros money line. I wanted to play the over, but I thought to myself, why do I want to play all these? Because I think the Astros bats are going to show up today. But just a reason why I'm not on Astros money line, a reason why I'm not on the over, is I'm kind of just unsure what Hunter Brown is going to do today. Reverse splits guy, very good, but his weakness is against right-handed bats. Braves lineup is full of them. And then they have Olsen and Albies who can basically hit anybody. So this is why I'm on the Astros team total over. Bryce Elder off to a really good start this year, but some underlying metrics are really concerning. And his strength of schedule has been fairly easy. Credit to him. Credit to Bryce Elder. 6 shutty against the St. Louis Cardinals in his first start. But looking past that, some underlying metrics and just some stuff grades don't look good for the right-hander. We spoke about how dreadful the Reds offense is, right, against righties on the road. They have another one today, which is interesting. But Bryce Elder, 6 innings, 6 hits against that Reds offense. I don't put a lot of stock into that start. Then he faced the Royals, struggling. Allowed 8 hits, 3 earned. Not a good start when you take a look at what the Royals offense has been doing right now. And the point of this is his whip. Walks, hits, and innings pitched. 1.25 compared to his ERA at 1.53. I don't think that ERA lasts for very long, considering that he's a heavy sinker slider fastball guy, right? He's going to throw that 86% of the time. And the Astros just crushed those pitches. I don't know what else to say. The main bats in the lineup, Kyle Tucker, Yordan Alvarez, Alex Bregman, Jose Abreu. They all have positive run values against those pitch. And a run value is how you perform against a specific pitch, right? Positive, the better. When you see red on Baseball Savant, that's good. They all have it. Now, even Martin Maldonado has a positive run value, and a guy like Mauricio Dubon lately has been raking against everybody. Jeremy Pena even has a solid matchup. It's just like every single batter in the Astros lineup today has a pretty solid matchup against Bryce Elder. And Bryce Elder's pitch mix just isn't that good, right? He's second to last in this specific stat. So Stuff Plus was created by Eno Saris. I've talked about it on stream before. Eno Saris, extremely smart baseball mind, created this stat, and it's really good at predicting future performance by pitchers. Because what it does is it grades your stuff, your pitch mix. What's your grade of fastball compared to other fastballs around the league? And Bryce Elder, as we sit here today, has a 71 Stuff Plus. So that means his pitch mix is 29% below league average. And you're thinking, 29%, that's not that bad. It's second to last in all of baseball. He's nestled right in between Austin Gomber and Kyle Freeland. That's what we're getting today from Bryce Elder. Don't pay attention to the ERA because I don't think that's indicative of future performance for the 23-year-old right-hander for the Atlanta Braves. And his 97 pitching plus, which combines your stuff plus and your location plus. Oh no, what happened to Drew Smiley? No way. What's going on, Drew? Sorry, we're going to take a... Hold on. Wait, throw that back up for a second. What's going on with Drew? No, is he injured? Oh, no. What are we looking at in chat right now? What happened? Oh. You're kidding me. Oh, no. Oh, you're kidding me. You got to count that as an error. No, that is such bogus. You got to call that an error. Oh, catcher, what are you doing, dude? Is that Young Gomes? Oh, no. Damn it.
What did they call it? A hit?
Yeah, I guess they called it a hit. Chat, can you let me know if they called it a hit? I assume they did, right? Did they call it a hit?
Here, it's right here. Yeah,
They got a hit. All right, let's get back to the Astros and why I like them today, right? We're talking about Bryce Elder, but we also have to look at the Braves bullpen, right? Because that's half the battle. But I do think plenty of runs are going to be scored off a guy like Bryce Elder. But again, Braves bullpen without Rafael Iglesias, Colin McHugh, and Lucas Littke. Those are three solid arms in their pen. And then when you consider that the better split for the Astros is against left-handed pitching, a lot of lefties in that pen, right? Even A.J. Minter is a great pitcher, but a lefty against the Astros who clean up against everybody. Dylan Lee, another lefty. A lot of these guys. The Astros bats should show up today. I think they have one of the best matchups in baseball. And when you consider Bryce Elder, 47.9% hard hit rate. That's in the 16th percentile in Major League Baseball. And that's the bad kind. It's just a bad matchup today. So I'm taking the Astros team total, 4.5. I got them at plus 105. I think it's a great bet today, especially being at plus money. Give me the Houston Astros team total. How about the second bet of the day, Producer Cohen? We're going to San Francisco at Oracle Park at 10:15 p.m. Eastern. We're taking the Mets and the Giants. The pitching matchup is Joey Lucchesi versus Anthony DeSclafani. And the main point of this is that the Mets just destroy right-handed pitching. And this really dates back to last season. They finished second in OPS against right-handers, but this year they sit in 15th. They're due for some positive regression, and they're going to be facing off against a pitcher who's due for some negative regression. Again, righties, heavy sinker-slider combinations, usually in for a rough day against this Mets offense, especially when his third and fourth pitches are fastballs and changeups. We talked about it. Mets really hit those pitches. What you want to do if you're fading the Mets, target lefties, target pitchers with cutters, curveballs. Those are good matchups. But DeSclafani is playing with fire here. faced 3 subpar offenses, and the quality of contact has been really poor. He's been lucky to kind of grab some ground ball double plays, but he finished last year with a 6.63 ERA in 2022. And I just don't see any real changes to what he's doing on the mound. DeSclafani, kind of similar to Elder, xERA over 3, below average stuff, allows a lot of hard contact. While he has the best ERA in the Giants rotation, worst stuff plus grade among all 5 starters. The stuff plus for Anthony DeSclafani is at 88. That's 12% below league average. And then when he exits the game, it's one of the worst bullpens in baseball at the moment, right? Camilo Doval is the only arm I really trust, and he is off to a slow start. This year, the bullpen has allowed the 3rd highest hard hit rate in Major League Baseball. Another one of these plays, right? I like the over. I like the Mets money line, but the real matchup and the real reason I like it is because of the Mets bats. You could play the money line for the Mets at around the same price, but I just don't know how Joey Lucchesi is going to perform or the Mets bullpen today, even though it's been pretty solid lately. We also have wind blowing straight out at Oracle, which should help bats even more. So I'm on the Mets team total over 4.5 at plus 100. I think it's a very solid bet considering it's plus money in this matchup. How about a prize picks entry for the people? All right. Just so we all know, if you have yet to download Prize Picks, make sure to use code JustBaseball. Get a full 100% deposit match. Absolute no-brainer. Whatever you deposit, they will match. And today we're on Lou Bob's under 8 fantasy score, commonly known as Luis Robert. Number's just way too high for a player who doesn't steal bases like he once did. And the Rays have also owned Luis Robert. Struggles to hit at Tropicana Field. A lot of hitters struggle to hit at the Trop. It's just a tough park to hit in. OPS under 500 against the Rays through multiple seasons. They just know how to pitch him, right? He's one of those hitters that if you make a mistake, he can do damage, but the Rays tend to not make mistakes, and they know how to pitch him carefully. I just wouldn't expect him on base enough today. And 8 is a very high number. I don't like his matchup at all against the Tampa Bay Rays. Heavy slider team. He doesn't perform all that well against sliders away. They should pick him apart as they have over the past 2 seasons. Next prop. Give me Willy Adames over 7 fantasy score. And I want to shout out Jake Hazen. As you know, if you've been watching the stream, always on stream, always giving us winners, currently 2nd in the competition. He's the Willy Adames whisperer. And he texted me today. Again, he texts me a lot about Willy Adames, and sometimes I take it, sometimes I don't. Today, I'm taking it. Because he comes alive when he's at home. Excellent hitting conditions again today against the Boston Red Sox. But the main thing is we got to look at how he's done against Nick Pivetta. And he's been barreling 4-seamers and curveballs. That's exactly what you want, right? Look at that fastball. Up in the zone, see ya. And that's even at T-Mobile Park, which is a much, much worse hitter's park. Let's see this pitch right here. Bang. See you later. Willy Adames over 7 fantasy score. He's really tough on righties, as you could probably tell from some of these highlights. Barreling up fastballs, hard hit rates over 50%. He should have a day today against Nick Pivetta, and it's not like we have to worry about that great of a Red Sox bullpen coming in behind him. So that's the leg today, right? Lou Bob, we're taking his under fantasy. Willy Adames, we're taking his over fantasy. And we're playing him on Prize Picks. Make sure to use code JustBaseball. If you have yet to download Prize Picks, it's an absolute no-brainer in order to get some free coin. All right, time to go over the model. So this is the Ballpark Pal model. We have park factors, game simulations, and a matchup machine. Remember the Ballpark Pal model? What it does is it simulates the game 1,000 times using each individual player's matchup and putting in their park factors in order to get the best line possible. And what it does is it shows you value on either side. But again, it's not the end-all be-all, but it is a cool way to start talking about the games and showing you kind of where the model is showing value for the day. So let's go into our first one. Padres versus the Diamondbacks. This one is fascinating because I've heard a lot of steam on this over, and I've heard a lot of steam on the Padres. Which is funny, the model does have a slight lean towards the Padres. It feels like they're a little bit undervalued in this spot, but it does not like the over as a lot of people do. Right? Javon is a really smart guy, but this actually likes the total to be closer to 7.5, but reverse line movement, right? We got some money on the under, but we got the line creeping up. And it opened around 8.5, 9, and you can start finding some 9.5s in the market. I find that extremely fascinating considering Gallen has been unbelievable in his past 2 starts. 13 scoreless, 13 innings, scoreless baseball. And Seth Lugo is a pretty solid pitcher. He's not great, but he's solid. So I look at these 2 teams and I think to myself, this game is practically unbettable, right? Model likes the under. The over seems to be the sharp play. They have the line pretty much exact, right? We're looking at a minus 110 line for the Padres. They have it at minus 108. But I wanted to bring this game up because I think it's a really tough game to cap. And I know we've heard a lot of steam on the over, especially from our guy Javon. So it's a tough one. It's a tough one today, right? I guess lean. I don't even know. I don't even want to give out a pick. I really, really don't know. So we're thinking about it, but let's just move on to the next game of the Ballpark Pal model. Ooh, this game is fascinating, right? Loves the Mariners in this spot, but I feel like it's almost too good to be true. We've seen a lot of people piling on the Mariners, and that line has not budged an inch. And we're looking at the total. It likes an under. It basically kind of just thinks Steven Matz gives us a pretty solid performance today. I disagree. I don't think he's very good. I would definitely lean the Mariners, but it almost is a bet that seems too good to be true. Both teams, George Kirby's going to fill up the zone. Normally good for the Cardinals, right? They like to swing away. It's a really tough game. I don't think the under is a bad bet, considering that T-Mobile, it's supposed to be a little chilly there tonight. Runs could be a little bit difficult to come by. And I still think that this Cardinals bullpen is solid-ish, and this Mariners bullpen is still very good. So I'd have a slight lean towards the under, but again, not playing anything, just kind of wanted to go over the game and show you guys kind of where the value is. And they say the value is on the Mariners, and they say the value is on the under. All right, let's get to our next game on the model. Excuse me. Brewers versus Red Sox. As you can tell, the model absolutely loves the Brew Crew today, which I could totally see. They basically think that Nick Pivetta is going to get shelled today, and I tend to agree. I think the Brewers, if you're looking at a favorite today, they'd be my favorite. Again, not playing them, not laying the juice on them, but I think even through the first 5 innings is a very solid play. I do think Freddie Peralta at home is a much better pitcher than Nick Pivetta on the road, and a lot of these Brewers bats, they match up really well against Nick Pivetta. I think of all the model plays, my strongest lean would be toward the Brewers through 5 innings because I don't like Nick Pivetta at all in this matchup. I don't think he's going to pitch well in a ballpark that's calling for runs today. So I'm looking at this first 5 innings. Again, I'm not going to play it, but it was one of my stronger leans this morning, and I still think it's a very solid play to look at. Brewers through the first 5 innings, potentially on the money line, or you get a little cheeky, take that first 5 minus a half. I think it's a pretty solid play there. I think that's kind of it. We'll get up the collab cam going. In the meantime, let's answer a couple of questions. What's everyone doing? Is everyone pissed at Capwise because he ruined the no-hitter? Perfect game. Capwise, now you just have to give the people winners. I mean, what else is there to say? Now you owe people winners, and he's going to come on today and he's going to give their picks. I'm excited. Would you play bump on? Oh, no way. Let's check that. A little Lou Bob bump. We'd love to see that. Luis Robert, 7.5 fantasy score. We'd love to see it. Yeah. I think he goes 0 for today. I'm laying off Slate today completely, even though it all looks golden. We love to see a little prize picks bump. Yeah, I still like it. I mean, obviously I love it at 8 more, but still, if it's above 7, right, I still think it's solid. I don't think he finishes above 7. Yeah, so I would play the bump. But right now, we have the Willie Adames Whisperer on the phone, so might as well talk to him, get a little bit of his Willie Adames magic here for the kids. What's going on, Jake?
What's up, Pete?
How are you?
I'm feeling good. Feeling great. How are
Well,
you, man?
before you even give your picks, I'd like to let the people know, do we have the leaderboard available, Producer Colin? Because you, my friend, are absolutely killing it. Number 2 in the competition with 16 different cappers. Our guy Jake Hazen is at number 2. I'm right behind you. Don't let me get hot, kid.
You've
But
been heating up, man. You kind of came out of nowhere. You're kind of like you weren't like down any money, but like, you're like just floating above, and now you're just killing it. Congrats
you
to you.
know,
Love to see
it's
you get hot.
just it's a slow moving process. As long as we're positive and watching baseball, it's a plus. But you're even more. And now I'm excited to get into your plays today. What you got for us?
Yeah, we're great transition there. Last game we were talking about. I'm on the Brewers' first 5 today,
Oh,
and
love it.
yeah, first 5 with the hook, priced at -120. I'm gonna put 1.2 units on it, and you kind of said it pretty well. So Nick Pivetta has been getting barreled, and his ball's been getting hit really hard. He's in the number 1 percentile, and 99 being the best
Yeah.
in hard hit rate, and he is at 3 percentile in barrel rate. And what this Brewers lineup loves to do, they love to barrel the shit out of the ball, and they love to hit the ball really hard. And one pitch I've noticed is not their best pitch. We look through across the board here when it comes to XBA, WOBA, and all that stuff. But I've noticed one pitch they hit really, really damn hard, which Pivetta lets up a lot of hard contact, is the curveball. So Nick Pivetta's hard hit percentage on the curveball here is even. Oh, never mind. Dead pace flow doesn't even show that, but I'm assuming it gets hit pretty damn hard compared to other pitches being in the first percentile of our hit rate. And he throws that pitch about, sorry, kind of scramble over here, 28% of the time. Other 52% of the time being a fastball. That's another pitch the Brewers just piss on. So if I look through here with StatCast, so like Willie Adames is a guy you brought up earlier who I think is going yard today. I took his total bases over fantasy score and home run.
Little Willie Adames stack for the people. Love it.
Yeah, any of those are good. Hits, runs, RBIs too if you want. None of it's gonna matter because he's going yard. But so Christian Yelich, it's a guy, dude. He's kind of back. Speaking of Bellinger and Christian Yelich resurgence here, I love
Kind of
to see
sick.
it.
I mean,
It's
Yelich
super
isn't
sick.
like back.
Bellinger's
Like Belly is back.
though.
Yelich is doing better, which is so good to see because I still think he's so talented. Before you continue, shout out Grandpa Berg for the sub bang. Thank you, my friend. All right, continue.
So Adames, 53% rate on the curveball. And Yelich, 51%. Tellez, 50%. And gosh, I don't know if everyone's pulled up, but
You're gonna
a
rank.
lot of people, they piss on this curveball. And I'm not even going to talk about probably the most underrated pitcher in the MLB right now, my man Freddie Peralta, who I made a bold take. So you see the MLB power ranking pitchers list, which was terrible in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
You
pay
see
attention to that.
It was really bad. I made my own list. I have Freddie Peralta at 10. We're talking power ranked pitchers right now, like power rankings. These aren't
Yeah.
like my confirmed top 10 list, but power rankings. He's pitching like the 10th best pitcher in the MLB right now, in my opinion.
I don't hate
And
it.
this is a guy I want it back, and he's been insanely good. He finally lit up his first earned run last game. He got kind of lit up last game for 5 earned runs, but we like Freddie Peralta in a bounce back spot here. So I'm going to take him against these Red Sox bats who are 20th in WRC plus on the road. They hit lefties better than righties, but this lineup's just not the same without Duvall, and I would like to fade him after putting up 11 runs yesterday. Thankful to Emilio Pagan for most of that. So
Pagan.
fading a team.
Emilio
that
Pagan.
he doesn't. Okay, usually I'm pretty big, like pronounce that guy's name correctly, but he doesn't deserve it. I'm sorry, Emilio.
He is a
I'll get
big
your
home
first-
run guy.
I'll get your first name right, but I'm not gonna.
He was actually not allowing home runs there for a week and a half, and then
Yeah, recession was due.
Yeah.
But this is a Red Sox clamp that doesn't walk too much either. I mean, and Freddie Peralta, that's his one weakness so far. He's about the 40th percentile walk rate, but so you should really be dealing with that today. So I expect Freddie P to go out and just shove, and it's gonna be Barrel City in Milwaukee tonight. Give me a lot of loud cracks off the baseball, and I can't wait to watch it.
any leans on a total there? Like, do you like the over just because the Brewers will get it themselves?
I don't know, but like this Brewers pitching staff is freaking good, man. I don't know if I want to take an over involving these guys. If I were to take anything, honestly, like I would play Red Sox team total under or the full game over. But honestly, I can see Freddie Peralta I think he can give up honestly like maybe 3 earned runs today. I can see it happening. It's not I don't think it's going to, but I can definitely see it. But I think this Brewers lineup's going to get after Pivetta really, really bad. I think it's going to get smashed in this game. So, I mean, all I'm asking for is Freddie Peralta to not let up more than 3 runs. I think Pivetta's going to get crushed.
I agree.
I think Peralta can go 6-inning shutout too. Like, I'm just saying, this is just the insurance we're laying on here.
Yeah. I think, we text all the time, and you text me about Willy Adames once a week. And when you hit him more than any person I've seen on one individual player. And I always look into it. I'm like, oh, yeah, I like the matchup of today. I love the matchup. And I thought you were spot on with your analysis that, like, this is the matchup. And you take him, and more often than not, in this type of matchup, he is going to hit for you. Now, it's not 100%. Nothing is. But if you take him in this type of matchup every single time, you will hit more often than not. And I'm willing to play those odds.
Right there with you, man. Yeah, I know you're pretty concerned at first because he doesn't really throw a slider too much, but his run values and stats aren't too good off the curveball compared to the slider, obviously, right? But like, he's pretty good against it. But like, the thing that really caught my eye is how hard he hits that pitch, and against a pitcher like Nick Pivetta, who just is a hard contact merchant, I think that's a good pitch target for Adames to take deep today.
One play, one winner. Thanks for coming on, Jake. Plug your Twitter so people can give you a follow.
It is Jake MLB31 on Twitter. You can find some late night Sasaki chase pieces on there as well.
Perfect, my man. King Castro, wait, first 5 minus a half, right? Because money line is minus 170. Yes.
First five
minus a half. Absolutely. Appreciate you, Jake. We'll see you Next week. Have a good weekend, my friend. That's my strongest lean, and I think it's a good play, and he's up like 7 units on stream. I would definitely back that play. I think it's very smart. I think that the Brewers kill Pivetta, and I think that Freddie does enough to get us through. I think that's a very solid play. Who we got next on the queue? Cali Wager. My friend Greg, MPB, college baseball, other degenerate sports because you're nuts, but you're here giving us MLB picks. Slow start to the year so far, but again, it's early, and you know what you're talking about. So I want to hear what you got today.
Yeah, happy Friday. It's too bad went 1-0 yesterday, went 2-0 in MLB on Wednesday. So it's been good for VIP. We've swept the board in KBO again last night, so it's continuing to roll forward in the baseball world. Down a couple units here, but we'll keep battling. We know it's the long haul, and no drama, not going to bankrupt you. So plenty of time. But yeah, I got 2 plays today. So, I guess we could start with what you guys just finished on, and that would be the Brewers. I'm on the Brewers today.
Okay.
Leading them first 5, like them full game, and kind of just to jump on the same points you guys were on. As much as I am anti-Pivetta, I'm also pro-Peralta. I think that he bounces back from that last start. He's going to be motivated as a former pitcher, as anybody who's an athlete. You expect more out of somebody coming off a bad loss. Just like any sport team gets their butt kicked, you're going to expect a more focused, more overall, top quality performance, whatever that is with him. And I expect that to come. I also expect the Brewers to score a plethora of runs, let's just say, this evening. So I feel good on both sides of it, offensively as well as with the pitching matchup.
Yeah, I think that's the play here. I was even looking at Brewers team total, Brewers first 5. I think they're my favorite of the day. I just didn't want to lay juice, but again, you're putting 1.6 units on it. Like, this is a pretty sizable play. You don't often see you putting 1.6 units. Might be your biggest play of the year on stream, correct?
Yeah, I think our biggest was opening day when we did 2 units on Yankees run line. Otherwise, in terms of odds, I think this is it, and it's probably about as big as I get. I don't try to get too much higher. I used to try to pride myself on not going over minus 150, but you got to be able to bend at times with certain plays, and if
especially
the value's there,
love a matchup. When you love
exactly.
a matchup and you think it should be minus 200 and you're getting minus 160, I agree. I'm not a big fan of laying juice. I don't even like laying anything over minus 140. I just think anything could happen in a baseball game, so I don't want to get caught in that. And I prefer laying, a unit on a plus money or 1.1, stuff like that. But I totally back this play. I think the Brewers win this game outright.
Yeah, and I feel the same way with first 5. I agree with you, team total. I think that there's plenty of ways that you could attack this, using them even as a parlay piece if you wanted to for something smaller.
Absolutely, but this ain't your only play.
Correct. Yeah, we've also got we're going with the Rangers. Rangers did us well yesterday. I expect Gray to throw the ball well today. I've been a Gray fan for quite a while. Unfortunately, pitching at Coors Field doesn't do much justice for anybody. But yeah, I still like the stuff. I still like what I've seen from him. I think that he has continued to grow in terms of maturity. Obviously, still playing at a park where the ball flies. It's hot there all the time. His aim of the ball carries very well, but I do like him, especially in this matchup. And why wouldn't I? Talk about ultimate turmoil going on with an organization. Ignore who's on the mound, ignore who's playing. This is, to me, a strictly auto fade of the A's right now until I don't know when, because I don't know what the A's have to prove right now. I mean, imagine being on that team and not knowing where you're going to play next year, possibly.
Yeah. No, I agree. They're moving to Vegas, no fans. I mean, I know there's Oakland A fans, but they ain't coming to the game. Like, being from the Bay Area, I'm from Santa Barbara. I know there are tons of A's fans. And if I was an A's fan, I would be so upset right now. We've seen plenty of videos when the A's are even decent that the fans show up. But I hate when people make fun of the A's for having no fans because it's just not only not true, but it's like, would you go to the games if you were an A's fan right now where they're putting out a lineup where the best hitter is Brent Rooker? Or the best hitter is Esteury Ruiz, who's a decent young player, but, on some teams he would still be in the minor leagues for them. So it's just a tough go for A's right now, and might as well just keep playing the Rangers until what? Just keep playing whoever faces the A's.
Yeah, exactly. It really is, and I wonder if the market catches up if it does go downhill, because I wouldn't be surprised if it did. What motivation is there when they get back to Oakland? What's going to happen? It's just, it's too bad, especially as a Bay Area guy. I've never been a huge Oakland fan because I'm, kind of this side of the Bay and been a, Niners and Giants fan and this and that. But it's horrible to see that, now all three teams are going to be gone. There's really going to be nothing there anymore. And it's too bad. It's a disservice to the entire East Bay, really.
No more professional sports in Oakland in 2027. That just sucks. I went to A's fans as a kid with my dad, and we watched A-Rod hit a walk-off grand slam against the A's. I'm a Yankee fan, and that was electric. Some of my favorite games were in Oakland, and it just stinks. It stinks.
Yeah, it does. It's too bad. It's you hope that at least the organization will get better with the move and get more funding and be taken care of as they should have, but it's just too bad that it's come to this option, especially for as much work as they did trying to get that whole area set up, and just how much time and money and effort, and just all for a waste.
I totally agree with you. Greg, really appreciate you. Make sure to go follow @CaliforniaWager on Twitter. He doesn't just do MLB. He does all facets of baseball, and he's really good at all of them. Appreciate you coming on, Greg, and have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers. Have a good weekend.
You too, my man. All right. No one in queue right now? All right, let's answer some questions while we wait for some more cappers to come on and give their picks. Beard phasing a W. Is it beard phasing, or is it? Are we looking at a mustache phasing? How many units on the Prize Picks entry, Peter? 0.25. Not a big unit guy on Prize Picks or any form of parlays, but when I see value, I pounce, and I think both these plays had some good value today. We obviously love a Luis Robert bump down to 7.5. That's what you love to see. I would still play it at 7.5, and give me Willy Adames over everything. All right. We got another guy loaded up in queue. Excited to hear some plays from the Crabs. The Crab man, Mr. Krabs.
Yeah, good day yesterday. I come on and talk shit for the first time, and then I send the worst bet ever.
Might have been a little bit of karma. Or, you know what I think it is? You fell into the wrath of Tomas right now. Because, you do not want to be on the other side of that bad man. I mean, there's nothing you could say. He just wins every day. I mean, he's up freaking almost 10 units, and it's April 21st.
Wild.
But let's not forget.
W's.
Let's not forget. Even after that, we still got you at 3 units. Even after that.
Yeah, man. The losses hurt. The losses hurt when you're only coming on and giving one pick. That's why I'm making 2 plays today.
2 plays.
Got to up the numbers. One pick, that's rookie numbers.
Can I ask? Remember you asked if we could put 2 or 3 units on the Giants? Are we glad?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's all I can say.
Yeah, good work. Good work there. I didn't even want it. How about that? All right. What did I even give you? What did I send you? Because I got a lot of plays today I like. I think I sent you the Marlins. Was that
Yes, you sent me the Marlins.
You want to start with that?
And you said, yeah, we'll start with the Marlins, and then we'll
Okay.
get to your next play, which is
Cool.
up in Seattle.
Dubs.
Dubs.
Let's start with the Marlins. Okay. I believe in this team. At least for now, only 20 games into the season, I believe in this team.
Okay.
You take away the names on the front of the jerseys, you take away the cool logos, you take away the names on the back. Right now, I take the Fish over the Guardians.
Wow.
No BS. No BS. So I guess you could say this is me using my baseball brain as spec by using my eyeballs and what I've been seeing on the field from these two teams. I like what I'm seeing out of the Fish. I just flat out do. At least right now with Garrett Cooper hitting well. We'll see how long that lasts. But look, I want to target the Fish here when the line, it just keeps on moving. I just checked. It's even lower now. It's come down damn near 30 cents at this point, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense with way more bets and money on the freaking Guardians, right? This Guardians team has not picked up where they left off in 2022. They do not seem to have the horseshoe up there, what? At least not yet. Not yet. And I want to fade Zach Plesac, who looks like a pitching machine right now. And I like Braxton Garrett, not Braxton Miller. I don't even know if you know who that is, but old NFL wide receiver.
Braxton Miller. I'm an NFL guy. People were even saying I was better at NFL than MLB last year. People were saying, not even me.
People were talking.
Might have
sure.
been when I asked them if I am. But
Yeah,
people it technically came out of a person's mouth, which is crazy.
You might have begged them for 30 minutes to say it, but they didn't say it.
And if I Venmo'd them, we don't have any history of the Venmo transaction. But what
They're
I
on
do
the
know,
company payroll.
it's still left to be desired. What I do know is that the Marlins' better split is against lefties this year, not righties. They haven't been that great of an offense against right-handed pitching. But Zach Plesac is not your regular right-handed pitcher. But the Guardians have definitely been worse against lefties. They've been worse last year. It's a very similar lineup. I don't know why they just never string together hits. We talked about it on Behind the Lines, which is your show, which everyone should check out on the Book It Sports Twitch stream at 12:30 every day, right? Monday through Friday?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Great show. I'm on most Fridays. I would play the Marlins through the first five. I just don't want to deal with a bad Marlins defense later in the game. The Marlins bullpen has been good, but the Guardians bullpen is better. That's what I would recommend if you want to tail this play. But at the same time, Marlins win through five, they probably win the game, right? So maybe splitting hairs there, but I would lean the Fish with you, and so would the line move, right? You got it at plus 120. I think it would open at what, plus 125?
Yeah, I saw some 135s floating around initially. How about them apples?
How about them apples? A little line movement, gang. But as we know, line movement doesn't matter in baseball because I lose everything where the line moves, and when the line moves in the opposite direction, I win.
That's because you're anti-line move, and that's the game on God's fighting you.
Just in
They've
baseball.
been hitting for me.
Just in baseball. As long as they hit for you.
The gambling gods don't like when you bet lines. You got to stay in your lane, Pete.
I got to stay in my lane. You're actually right about that. I'm a baseball brain better with some line. I'm not an idiot. I know how to bet. I know how to bet. We'll save that for the football season. But you got another play.
I do.
Let's go up to Seattle for the most no-brainer surprise. Krabs is on it. Mariners lay piece.
Yeah, maybe it makes a little sense. I don't think it makes that much sense. I keep going back to, Seattle just getting swept and looking like crap. And St. Louis, yeah, I guess they got the bats going the last couple nights. Great, sure. But what have they done over the last 19 games? Very disappointing, in my opinion, personally. This Cardinals team is maybe the most overrated team in baseball right now. And Matz is going to look like Patrick Corbin up on the bump tonight. 2023 Steven Matz is 2022 Patrick Corbin. Okay? And he's going to look like that. I know he had a nice little start mixed in there this season, whatever, against one of the worst teams in the league. I'm forgetting which team it was, but he had a good start. All right, but the other two, he gave up 11 runs in the first two starts.
It's not ideal.
I forget who he played in his last start, but he dominated them.
Was it the Rockies?
No, he got destroyed by the Rockies.
Yeah, he got destroyed by who's his last start? I don't forget, but whatever. It's not as good as the Mariners.
No, it's not as good as the Mariners. And I like this Mariners lineup. It was the Pirates, by the way. It was the Pirates.
Well, who are good.
Awesome.
Who are better than the Mariners?
Yeah. Nope. Look, Kirby, by the way, if you guys don't like watching pitchers go up there and walk people, bet on your guy Kirby tonight because this guy cannot walk a guy even if he tried.
Yeah.
He will fill up the zone. And against the St. Louis lineup that does not look too sharp, in my opinion, besides maybe the game last night, great, sure, woohoo. This offense is dead the whole season. They have been. And until they get going, I'm going to keep fading them. And I want to fade Matz. And I'm a Kirby guy. After his atrocious start he had in the first start of the season, his last two, pretty much lights out. And he's looking like the Kirby from years past. So I'm in on Seattle. The line has completely flipped and moved another 15 cents. It's probably moved about 50 cents at this point towards Seattle at home here, coming off a sweep. I'm going to take my chances with the line move and back the favorite at home. And also a good sign that total's moving up, I feel like. Can't be good for Matz.
Can't be good for Matz. Because it's hard to believe that it's Kirby at home.
It's hard to believe that Kirby is going to be giving up runs at home, which he never does, knock on wood.
He's so good.
So there's your square angle there. But, man, I love watching George Kirby pitch.
He's the man.
I really do.
He was, just some background for you if you care. He was a guy at Elon who saw big velo uptick. Guy always threw strikes. Mariners identified him, and he just flew through the minors because you look at like his underlying metrics, and it's like, this guy looks like Kevin Gausman because he doesn't walk anybody, and he strikes out the world. And then he just flew through the – Aram was the first person to be like, watch George Kirby because he wasn't like an LSU – exactly, shocker, always. He wasn't an LSU guy. He's not like a big-time guy from Elon throwing low 90s. My producer here, what did you have? High school. What was he like in high school?
Throwing like, honestly, like 92 though, like 91.
That's still good.
No,
So
like,
in high school, you're shitting your pants facing that.
Jump like 6 miles per hour.
that's the thing. He said in high school he was like 90, 92, and then at Elon he was like around that range, and then he just figured it out, and now he's, I think, one of the best young pitchers in Major League Baseball. I would never bet on the Cardinals in this matchup. Something gives me weird vibes about the Mariners, and I don't know what it is because the baseball pick, the line move is Mariners. I might just be overthinking it because I'm like, no shit, it's the Mariners. But I've been doing this kind of all year where I stay off picks. Like, for example, against the Cardinals, Mad Bum. I was like, all right, is that just the easiest bet in the world? I guess I should just take it. They won by 30. So, yeah, the Mariners seem like a good play. I'm probably overthinking it. And go M's. Big M day from you.
Yeah.
How about flip
100%.
those M's into dubs?
Why not?
That was a good transition.
Just like this dome right here. Just like this logo. Beautiful Walgreens logo from the Nats. Sure. Gosh,
Sure.
The only Orioles chirp they have on us is calling our logo looking like the Walgreens.
Yeah.
The Nationals chirp back and we're like, we're about to make you guys not have a team anymore. And we buy Masson and you don't have a freaking TV rights deal and you got to move to Nashville.
Yeah.
That's kind of the bit between the two baseball teams right now.
Yeah.
There's some serious beef. Serious beef.
Use code BOOKIT and get free Nat season tickets.
Sure. Honestly, you don't even need to because they're so cheap. You just buy on the day off because nobody's there. There you go. There's a little cheat code for Nats tickets.
All right. Appreciate you, my friend. Plug your Twitter for anyone who isn't following. And you have, 90 billion followers on Twitter already?
Sure. At Krabs with the K _bets. Drop a follow. About to post the card shortly. Chat. Wow. Let's have a weekend. All right. Go out to the ball club, ballpark, whatever. Go watch your teams win or lose. Drink some beers, and most importantly, hit some freaking bets.
Wow!
All right, let's get the money up in 2023. All right, get your money up.
Get your money up, not your funny up. Appreciate you, Krabs. We'll see you next week. All right. Anyone else in queue?
Yeah, we got Ollie.
Oh, we got Ollie 1 unit. Ollie! I'm so excited to talk to you because that under yesterday, you cashed it. We gave it out on stream even though you couldn't come by because I know you're a working man. I was on the first 5 under. You were on the full game under.
Ooh.
How about them chickens?
Wow, the first 5 under. Yikes.
Yeah. Oh, my. Are you kidding?
That was something. Electric.
4
4.5,
runs?
right?
No, well, I had 5. I mean,
you had 5. Oh,
yeah,
nice.
I had 5. So I was like, I guess it could maybe push.
Yeah.
Probably not. Didn't matter. Luke Weaver settled in. Rowansi is that dude.
Yep.
And you're the Pirates truther, kind of.
I like both those teams, man. Pirates year. I'm on the Reds team total over this year. Just that division in general is even more up for grabs than I think a lot of us anticipated. I kind of thought it was going to be the Cardinals just beating everybody down and everybody else battling for like 83 wins. But
Pretty square of you.
It is what it is. That's what I thought. I did not put my money. Yeah, everybody. Yeah. It's like the Colts.
Yeah.
Everybody thought the Colts were going to run through. and everybody else is going to beat up on each other, but not the case. We're going right back to that play. The Reds and Pirates under today, because we've got battle of NL Cy Young winners, future NL Cy Young Award winners here with my boys, Mitch Keller. I'm Mitch Keller's #1 fan, as most people know. And Graham Matchcraft was another guy I liked a lot last year. I remember his first start. I bet on him in his first start on the road in Toronto last year, in his first career start. I took Reds first 5, I think, or 1.5 plus 1.5. I don't remember what it was. But ever since then, I was hooked. I looked up the scouting report on Graham Matchcraft, and even in the minors, 98 sinker, 98 cutter. It's
Disgusting.
Just like, right there. That one, too, is nasty. Now, can you develop off of that and get some off speed in there? And guess what he did over the offseason? Develop one of the better sliders out there in baseball right now. It is filthy. 88, 89, coming off the cutter. Sinker still needs work, but he's doing a much, much better job attacking right-handed hitters, which the Pirates, without O'Neill Cruz, that's really all they got from a threat perspective. Obviously, Brian Reynolds is going to be that guy, but he's cool.
Ke'Bryan Hayes might ground out.
Ke'Bryan Hayes is a guy that'll put the ball in play, but nothing is happening when he's putting it in play.
I know.
So he's not going to strike out. He's just going to roll one a second or something like that. I like Ashcraft against that lineup. We'll get into that matchup a little bit in a second because it is part of the Prize Picks play that I'm on. But on the other side, it's Mitch Keller against the Reds, who really did not look good yesterday. Kind of capitalized on a couple of dinky things there in the 8th to get some runs across. But just some, both these teams have seen these pitchers already, which might want you to lean towards the over, just some familiarity in such a short amount of time. But I think last game, Mitch Keller and Hunter Green, opening day, that game went over, but it was 4-4 after like 3 innings and ended 5-4. Both teams should have their good guys available out of the bullpen. Good guys as in Alexis Diaz and David Bednar. And no Bednar pitch yesterday, but was relatively efficient. And it was only 1 day of pitching, so pitching back-to-back days should not be a concern. Should be available. Neither bullpen is good, right? We know this, but
the Pirates bullpen isn't that bad. I mean, at least their top 3 I think are solid. And then when you look at the Reds, like you have Alexis Diaz, who I still think is one of the better closers in the National League. It's these middle guys, right? It's these mop-up duty dudes who just get bombed day after day. So then you look at the Sierra, the ERA rankings, and you're like, yeah, they're middle of the pack, but we have to look at who is going to be probably available, and I think each team will have their best arms available, and those best arms are still really solid.
Yep, that's my point. Is top to bottom, is the bullpen? Are the bullpens great? No, but both these guys' tops, Bednar and Diaz, are both studs. Don't get me wrong. Bednar was a All-Star last year, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Alexis Diaz put his name out there. He was just like, oh, this guy's Edwin Diaz's brother. Maybe he'll be good. Nah, he's a stud. He is good. Runs in the family, confirmed. So give me that under. I know the Pirates offense has been really, really hot, but that was again in cores against really bad pitching, as we've seen against the Rockies. And then yesterday, after that first inning against the Reds, I think they had 1 base runner. So I like Keller and Ashcraft to go out there, get the job done, and give me that under 8.5.
0.75 units. Why not a 1 unit play? Just curious.
We're still not seeing the board incredibly well, so we're managing the bankroll.
I love it.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
W transparency.
Yeah, the Prize Pick bankroll is a little bit different though.
Yeah, because, you're on drugs. What is this? A 2-unit Prize Picks bomb?
Yeah. Lucky enough to hit a YOLO 5-teamer the other day to build up the Prize Picks bankroll. So we're gonna put 2 units. It might have been an accidental click, but we're rolling with it anyways. Back to Graham Ashcraft at 4.5 strikeouts. Some people are going to see this and think it's kind of low, which on paper, sure, I don't necessarily disagree. It's kind of a bait number. I'm not going to lie. However, I looked into why is it low. Pirates, on paper, without O'Neill Cruz, haven't really been striking out a lot. But, like I said, who have they been going against in the past week or so, week and a half since O'Neill Cruz has been out? Not really anybody that is worth, that has got strikeout stuff, I guess. A bunch of schlubs over in Colorado that just threw batting practice to them. And Last night, Luke Weaver isn't exactly known for his strikeout stuff as long as he's been around. So at first it was 4.5 minus 105. By the time I put in my Prize Picks entry, it was at minus 125. So moving in the right direction, good value. That's according to DraftKings. So Ashcraft over 4.5 Ks, and then the other one, don't overthink it. Fade the A's offense, especially against right-handed pitching, and give me the two-teamer will be John Gray under 1.5 earned runs.
Wow.
That's the two-teamer, 2 units on that. What I've been doing lately is, like, obviously we know the A's are just an embarrassment to not only Major League Baseball, but really professional sports in general right now. I feel really bad for that fan base because we know when the A's are good, that stadium gets packed, and those fans are lunatics. They're absolute lunatics. So it's a real shame to see what's going on over there, but we can't let that distract them that this team might win 45 games. They are really, really bad. And like some of the pieces they have offensively in the rotation are kind of intriguing. Waldichuk, we saw Miller yesterday. But from a lineup perspective, let's look at this lineup. Who is scaring you? Estoy Ruiz showed some cool stuff in spring against, single A pitchers, sure. But against John Gray, I'm kind of a John Gray guy too. Kind of, it's just one of those guys that you get attached to. Like, if John Gray or Jamon Marquez could get out of Colorado, man, they could be good. And I'm still on that 3 years later. Don't care. I can't help it. But like Ryan Noda, he hits a couple of tanks. Same with Rooker. Jace Peterson, Aledmus Diaz is your 5-hole hitter. Langoliers, the main piece of the Olsen trade. Will he end up being good one day? He might be all right. He's no Sean Murphy, and he never will be. So top to bottom, I'm not really afraid of that A's lineup. John Gray might walk the ballpark and let a single in, and that's how they get the 2 earned runs. If that is what happens, so be it. But last time I checked, and let me just double check, the A's walk rate was nothing to look. Middle of the pack.
You don't have to look.
Rate.
I don't think the A's are like practicing plate discipline.
A little bit better than I expected, though. 8.5%, middle of the pack. A little bit better than I thought it was going to be.
Well, yeah. Why would you throw balls to the A's? Think about it.
Exactly.
Like, I'm throwing in the zone, and I dare you.
Put the ball in play. And by the way, when they do put the ball in play, they're not getting hits. They're third worst in the majors in average against righty. Average is an end-all be-all, I know. But the ISO is bottom 5. Slugging's bottom 5. OPS, like we know the A's are bad. Yeah. So don't overthink it. System play, minus 120 on books. So value on both these plays. Did you call it
a system play because the A's are so bad that it's a system of fading them?
Yes, take the opposing pitchers under earn runs. I'm going to try that for about the next 2 weeks. It's worked out every time I've taken it so far this week. I think with 3 times in the Cubs series with Justin Steele, Marcus Stroman, and someone else. So let's keep it going. Throw it in a Prize Picks with my boy Graham, and those are the 2 plays.
Yeah, I'm checking that system for you. So if you faded the A's every game, you'd be 16-3.
Yeah, on the money line, which obviously, that's not great. But a way to fade them at a good price is to either I do like the Rangers run line today, just because if the A's are giving up a plus money run line, sure, why not? But a good way to fade the A's at a decent price, like I'm saying, take the starting pitchers, earn run under.
If you hit a 2-unit bomb on this, 2 units win 4 units, you are right in the thick of the competition.
We'll be right back, baby. We'll be right back. Long way to go. Long season. I know Tomas got off to like that scorching hot start. Look what happened after a week. Right back down to earth.
He's still up 10 units.
Hey, all power to him. I'm just saying it's a long season. We can't toot our own horn after having a week. It's a grind. I learned that last year. Especially July, August, it was tough. So I'm taking it slow, not panicking over having a slow start here.
No.
And I'm ready to roll. Feel great about the board today. Usually it doesn't end well, but we'll see what happens. Go Sox. I know there's a lot of Nick Pivetta slander out there today.
Yeah.
Deservedly so. He's probably going to get rocked today, but the K's, I think the Brewers are going to strike out a little bit today.
There we go.
Not a bad look. He's read it out on pitching outs on Prize Picks, so his under is probably free, right? Putting on my Prize Picks line reading hat. Nick Pivetta. I'm a Nick Pivetta guy.
No, you are. You're a Red Sox
I-
fan, and he's just on your team.
I can't. Oh, I've been Nick. You know who Nick Pivetta was traded for?
Well, he came from the Phillies.
Yeah,
Who is he traded for?
I know Nick Pavetta's like a 4 or 5 guy, but he
Who-
does kind of step up in big games. He was
Is this a
traded
big
for-
game?
No, absolutely not. But like, I know it's been a while, but playoffs he was awesome, and he was traded for Brandon Workman and Heath Hembry.
Oh,
So it's a pretty damn good deal
Fleece.
to get a. And they got Connor Siebold, who was promising at one point.
he
till
did
got
have.
hurt, never
He
was
did
the
have.
same.
He did have 3 good innings there.
Yeah, I mean that guy. I was so in on Connor Siebold, it wasn't even funny. But that's why we don't fall in love with prospects around here.
Ollie, you are a friggin' joy to talk to, my man. Tell the people your Twitter so they can go follow your plays, because you obviously cap baseball well, but golf, I mean, you're one of the best I know. I mean, fantastic.
Golf's been very up and down this year, as has baseball. Just kind of been a blank year. But I will say, dabbled in some LPGA this week because the PGA event is atrocious.
Is it?
And my girl Nelly Corda, T2. So sweat that out over the weekend.
Yeah, why not us? What's her name?
Nelly Corda.
Nelly Corda. That sounds like a
Yeah.
winner. Where's she got
Remember
to
the name.
finish? Is she going to win the whole thing?
I'll be very happy, boy.
All right. What's the
Yeah.
line on that one?
I think like plus 1,000. So that would be great. She's one of the favorites. Ollie 1 unit for all those plays, all the fades, and whatever. I don't even know if this is up there on stream, but whatever.
It's not. I appreciate you, my friend.
Yeah, we'll be on a heater here soon. Don't worry.
Nelly Corda, John Gray, and who else on the prize
Mitch
pick?
Keller, Graham Ashcraft.
Mitch Keller.
Especially Mitch Keller.
Only winners from our guy, Ollie 1 unit. We'll see you next week, my friend. Appreciate you coming on. All right. Anyone in queue?
Got the Jen.
Oh, we got to Jen. We have to Jen. One of my favorite conversations all day.
I'm bringing him on right now, but do you want to? There's one kid. He wants to know, isn't it a friendly competition? I think he said about the money.
Oh, well, hold on to Jen before you talk. Isn't this a friendly competition? It's a friendly if you consider friendly. I don't even have a good joke. It's not friendly. We're trying to beat the hell out of each other. Because if you win, you get World Series tickets, and if you finish second, you get a $500 cash prize. So while we're being nice to each other right now, I prefer Dejen loses every single play he gives. How are you, Dejen?
Ollie doesn't know shit about golf. No, I'm just kidding. No, he's a good golf capper for sure. I like talking with him. I've had him on my stream too. He's a good dude.
I love that guy.
Doing good, man. I just went for a power walk. You know, I like a nice evening stroll before I place my wagers and clear my head.
That's usually when you give winners, right? Remember last year you would go on that weird walk and you'd take a video and then you'd come out with 4 winners?
Yeah, during the NFL season, I was always doing a 2-mile run, and then I would focus on a player prop, and had some big success with a few guys here and there. So
my problem though is that you'd give 4 winners, but you'd give 5 picks, and you'd bet on the Colts, and they'd lose by 60. But I'd be on it with you too, and I'd be like, "This is the worst team in the NFL."
Yep. Yeah, I was thinking about Manny Machado for, I don't know, the entire time, and I'm going to go through it once more, the misery once more. Anyways, that's not what I'm here to pitch. I've got 2 plays today. The first one, I'm going to go against my Rays. I'm going to take the Chicago White Sox on the first 5 plus a half. I believe at the time I got this in with BetMGM, it was minus 110.
Yes.
The Rays, when I checked on the game, they were 160 up to 170. Foucher is pitching, I believe. I don't know if I said that correctly, against Kopech.
Fauché.
What is it?
I think it's Colin Fauché. I think.
Oh, Fauché. Okay, yeah, that you're probably right. So this Kopech guy, I remember watching him 2 years ago. I liked him. I liked his stuff. This is also kind of when I fell in love with Dylan Cease, and I haven't really been on or off of him much, but I've been playing these first 5 unders, and I usually back a pitcher. This will be more of a reasoning to my next play, but just to set the stage on my Kopech. I like the back pitchers on the under after they have a terrible performance.
Yeah.
And do you remember when Kopech was pitching against
San Francisco?
God, was it? Was it San Francisco? Yeah, it was an orange team. I thought it was the Orioles. I think
Tipping
San Francisco.
pitches. Tipping pitches. Did you see
Yep.
those? He was tipping
I
it.
saw that video. It was excellent by John Boy, whoever
Yeah.
it was. But
John
I think
Boy.
it was like four straight home runs or something.
Yeah.
He
Crazy.
came out the next game, pitched really well. I'm going to back him today on the first 5. I don't know much about this Rays pitcher, to be honest with you. However, I don't like this spot for the Rays. They did have a day off, which is, if anything, it should make you like them a bit more. I don't know if the White Sox played yesterday. I don't think they did. But there is a pretty good stat or trend going around where if both teams have the day off, you take the favorite. I think it's hitting over like 65%. Well, that definitely concerns me a little bit going against the Rays in this spot. But you know what? I don't really think I trust the Rays much in the very first game of a series. And we know that they've played, whatever. Everyone counts, but they didn't play the best competition to start the season. They're very good at home. I don't think they've lost a home game.
They're incredible at home.
Yeah, they're incredible at home. But when they had the first game of the season, the series, against the Blue Jays, didn't go very well. And then the first game of the series against the Reds, I believe you had the Reds, and that didn't go very well. Dating back to last season from when I watched this team, they do tend to get out a little bit to a slow start sometimes when they have these series openers. And I think Kopech, I'm going to continue to back him a little bit after that horrible start. He did settle in. I don't remember the exact stats, but I played that first 5 under, and he did very well in his next outing. I think he pitches okay here. But I think the Rays bullpen's rested, so full game, I don't feel as comfortable. And I've seen the White Sox they're a miserable team to bet on. They tend to blow it late. But I do think that the total went from 8 to 9. I do think that a lot of people are probably going to want to bet this over because the Rays sometimes, or more often not sometimes, they go over the total themselves. But I'm having deja vu because this happened when they played the Red Sox not that long ago. They had a total that went to 9, and Javon I trust more than anyone when it comes to baseball and the Rays especially. And he says if you see a line move towards the over and a 9 number in the trop, you usually always go towards that. But I'm not so sure. I'm a little hesitant on that. And again, I think it's because of how well the Rays their bats have been, and their offense has been putting up so many runs. I think the opener of 8 is a bit more telling.
Yeah.
I think we get some solid pitching, and yeah, so I feel pretty safe about a low scoring plus a half. I wouldn't take it on the money line, but plus a half for the White Sox on the first 5.
And just I think you're spot on there. I have always been a person who pays much more attention to the openers rather than the line movement. Because baseball is a sport that's not bet on with the same handle that an NFL or the NBA is. So,
Good point.
a large bet, right? You put in $10,000 on a bet or more, that is going to move the line regardless if it's sharp or not.
Yep.
So in the NFL and the NBA, it's not always the case. So while reverse line movement is important, I've never thought it's as important as the NFL or the NBA. So the opener, these models are so good because baseball is a data-driven sport. There's so many edges and it can all be quantified. That's why it's my favorite sport by far. It's the best, it's the most fun to handicap because you could go down rabbit holes, and I love going down rabbit holes. But the openers are always the most telling. So that's why, for example, that first game, Astros-Blue Jays, the opener was minus 115 towards the Astros. They lost on Sunday Night Baseball, and it flipped to them as a dog. I was like, they obviously still think the Astros should be favorites here, but it flipped because of that. So is that sharp movement? No, that's an overreaction. So I always think the opener is much more telling than line movement, just in baseball, not other sports, in baseball in particular. So I think you're spot on there. Also, Rays unders at home historically hit at a 58% rate. It's one of the stadiums that you normally want to take unders at. I think the White Sox are a decent play, but all I hear about from Javon is velocity, and he's so spot on. We saw it against Hunter Green. But Kopech is throwing 95. It's not 100, right? So, but I think it's a pretty solid play here. I'm just curious why you didn't think of plus 140 or anything like that.
Plus 140 on the money line?
On the first 5 money line. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I don't know, man. At the end of the day, I played. So I'm still trying to tweak the first 5 system that I like, but I got burned. I want to say it was 2 days ago with first 5s on the side, and I played the Cleveland Guardians -0.5 at +110, and it was 0-0 after 5, and then in the 6th inning, Jose Ramirez hit a 3-run nuke. So it was like right after. And then the Giants, San Francisco Giants against the Marlins, I played them on the money line, and they were up 1-0. And then with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th, the Marlins tied it up 1-1. So I pushed there. If I would have gotten a little greedy and played to win, I would have gone 0-2. Thankfully, I went 1-1. So just from that recent experience, I'm being a little bit more conservative.
Still
so
a
yeah,
good line. -110, and if it ties, you win. I think it's still a good line.
I
was just curious, and I'm glad you broke it down.
Yeah, if it wasn't even money, I'd probably just say screw it, let's go for the jugular. But -110, I'm happy with that. By the way, am I frozen?
Not frozen for me. Are you?
Okay.
Is anyone in the chat saying you're frozen? No, you seem good.
My screen in the chat looks frozen, but okay, as long as I'm good.
What else are we on? We're on the Miami versus Cleveland first 5 over. Interesting.
Yep. So, Aram, if you're in queue, do you mind muting, by the way? I can't hear myself like crazy. All right, thank you. Yeah, first 5 over. This one, Peter, I don't know if you're going to like. I don't know if anybody is going to like. So, total open 8, down to 7.5.
Wait, producer Cohen, can you change that graphic real quick for his
I know
first 5
that,
over?
I know that nobody really likes Plasic. I don't even know if they like Braxton Garrett. Now, this is something that I have had some pretty good success with recently. I've been playing the first 5 totals, primarily unders, like I've told you about, where I've been backing the pitcher, the matchup, after a bad start. Well, I'm going to do the opposite here. I'm going to go with the first 5 over because I think this seems like a really obvious underplay. When anybody is playing a Marlins game, I don't think they're that excited to go with an over. I don't think the over at 8 is really that fishy, no pun intended, but I don't really think it's that fishy.
I don't like going.
Yeah, I think it's the right line. But this matchup on paper between the Guardians and the Marlins, I don't think anybody's really expecting runs. And then what I did is I looked at the most recent starts from Braxton Garrett and from Plasic. So Garrett in his last 2 outings has been really good against the Diamondbacks, who we know how good the Diamondbacks are, on April 15th. 5.2 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run. Before that, he played the Mets, and he had a win. He went 4.2 innings, gave up a lot of hits, 9 hits, but only 2 earned runs. Plasic's also not been terrible. He's allowed 2 earned runs in each of his last 2 starts. Both have been wins. So we have an over in the first 5 at 4.5. That's juice to the over. It's a little. I think that's a little suspicious. I think that's a little telling. I've seen many times in 7.5 openers where. Or 7.5 totals where the first 5 is at 4 flat, or if it's at 4.5, the under is juiced. So I think it's a little telling. And like I said, I'm just going with those first 5 unders that nobody really expects. Now I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to get cheeky here and go with the first 5 over that I don't think anybody really expects. And I think I got the over 4.5, if I'm not mistaken. Do you have what I submitted? I don't know what the actual.
We have you at first 5 over 4.
Oh, it is 4.
It is 4, and it's still 4 now. I don't know if we made a mistake on our end. I don't know if I ever saw 4.5. Yeah. Played a 4?
I just wanted to see. Did I get 4 flat?
I don't know. Let us know. I think you got 4 flat.
Oh, yeah. 4 minus 120. Okay. Sorry.
Bang.
I thought it was 4.5, which would have been really, really odd. Okay. So the 4 over minus 120, as long as that over is juice, which I'm not saying I really am looking to
and
lay
it still
juice.
Is.
Yeah. But I think that if the book, you got to think about it this way. If you're the one booking the bets, if you feel that there's a liability on one side, you're going to make it more expensive for somebody to lay that, you know what I mean? To get their ticket. So I feel like the books know that there's a little bit, or feel like there's a little bit of liability in the first 5 of this game with these 2 pitchers. And then you look at their 2 recent performances, and they've been really solid when it comes to earned runs. So just kind of blending all of that together. Again, I'm just trying to go for something here that I don't think anybody really expects. And that's my second and final play, I believe, of the day.
Great pitches, my friend. Again, I know you
Thank
do
you.
the board review at 11 a.m. Plug that. I love it.
I do, yeah. Twitch stream, the DGen Weekly. It started as a newsletter, so that's why I'm at the weekly. But on Twitch, 11 a.m. every day, about an hour and a half. We go through the entire board: baseball, NHL, player props, all that good stuff. So, yeah, man, appreciate you having me on, and good luck tonight.
Absolutely. Before you go, any NHL, NBA plays I have to be on tonight?
Yeah, you know what I like the most? I like the under in this Bruins-Panthers game.
Okay. I don't know anything, but I'll play it.
Do you want a quick reason as to why or no?
No. I just
Okay.
want to play it, and I believe you. I believe
All right.
you. Also, Q for you, I'm a Knicks fan. He's a Knicks fan. We're losing to the Cavs tonight, unfortunately.
I agree. I think the Cavs win this one, and I think the Knicks win Game 4.
I agree.
Yep.
And then we'll win the title, but not tonight.
You
See you later, Dejen. Really appreciate you. Have a good weekend. We'll see you next week.
too.
Peace out, my man. And now we have on Aram Layton. What's going on,
What's
my
going
friend?
on?
Good to see you.
How we doing?
Doing our
How we
best.
doing?
Are you? There's a little bit of feedback. Maybe is it if you mute your computer, possibly? I'm not sure.
How about now?
Oh, bang! What's going on?
Bang. It was connected to my camera. I have no idea why it would ever do that. Why would I? In what context will I ever want to?
I know he's speaking through a robot.
You gotta close some tabs.
You got to close some tabs. We got Masataka Yoshida's
gotta
fan
close the
grabs
tabs.
up to make sure he's over a 70 WRC plus, right?
I might have to turn the light off. Hold on. I have like a external light plugged in too. Are we still roboting?
Oh no, you're good. You're good now. I'm excited to
Let's go.
All right, I'm excited to hear your picks. Oh wait, there's still a little bit of feedback.
He sounds fine for me.
You
No,
want to switch Tomas on? I'll play around with my stuff, man.
Yeah, what should we put on Tomas right now? And then we'll get back to Aram. We'll get back to Aram. Perfect. We got the man, the myth, the legend. The man, the myth, the legend. Tomas Romo wearing the Bass Pro Shops hat, ready to go fishing. Oh, there he goes.
Sorry.
No, we're back in 3, 2, 1. Bang! How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good.
Everyone in the chat wants the picks. They know you're up 9.87 units. That you went head to head with Krabs and won. Mets 2-unit bomb. Why not us? How are you?
I'm doing good. How about the Mets, Peter?
How about 'em?
them Mets, man?
How about 'em?
Come on.
The New York
I love it.
Metropolitans. They pulled through and it wasn't even a sweat.
No, I got worried there in the 5th inning when they made it 5-4. I said, you know what? Of course this is going to happen to me. Of course the Mets are going to do this. And sure enough, their bullpen closed it out. They scored some runs, and we cashed the 2-unit. And I got 4 plays to give out today, Peter.
Woo! Let's talk. So your first play, let me scroll down to your plays. We are looking at Cleveland money line again against Krabs. This is phenomenal. This is phenomenal. Round 2, back to back. Cleveland Guardians versus the Miami Marlins. Why do you like Cleveland at home?
First off, this game opened up -115. Guardians were the favorite. Also, too, if you just want to look at the numbers, you're kind of sitting there going, why are the Guardians the favorite? Zach Plesac's on the mound, has like above a 6 ERA. Braxton Garrett has pitched pretty well for the Marlins and was 3 starts. The line is fishy right off the bat. Also, too, like I said, opened at 115. It's now up to -135 Guardians money line. And also, too, this is a system match for me. I mean, I talked about, non-divisional road favorites yesterday. Here's another one. Interleague favorites have been profitable this season. 48-22, hitting at 69%. Both of these teams had a day off yesterday. And in these spots, the favorite has continued to win. When both teams are coming off an off day, the favorite is 21-7 this season. I mentioned the fishy line as well. The numbers back it up. Give me Cleveland.
Wow. Tailing Zach Plesac, but I don't even really care about the starting pitching matchup. I think it's going to be a battle of the bullpens, and the Guardians are at home, and they normally win that matchup. I think it's a fascinating game because the Guardians are in their worst split, facing a lefty. They haven't really hit him. But then again, Marlins, bad against lefties last year, bad against righties this year. So, do you think we see a low-scoring game? How do you see the game unfolding?
I guess honestly, it all really depends on how Braxton Garrett pitches. That's what I see. I think Zach Plesac's going to give you a solid 5 today. I agree with you that it's going to be a bullpen type game. I know I'll be watching in the 7th, 8th inning, going, man, I either hope Cleveland comes back or they close this thing out.
Yeah.
But I really do see it being maybe a little bit low scoring game, like maybe like a 4-2, 5-3 type ball game. But if Cleveland is able to get ahead early, I really do trust their bullpen to shut it down. Like I said, they had an off day yesterday. Their bullpen's completely rested. I like the Guardians.
There we go, my friend. Awesome. But I think it was yesterday, too, because you said interleague favorites, right? And I think the Giants were a slight favorite against the Mets, but the Mets pulled it out, right?
The Mets yesterday the Mets finished as they were the favorites. They were a non-divisional road favorite. That's the other system I would play.
Okay. No, I was just curious because I want to just clear that up for future use.
Yeah.
So play on the Guardians, but that ain't it.
Nope.
We are rolling in Texas. We are fading the A's. You've made so much money doing it. I don't see you stopping now. Rangers on the run line. Rangers team total. Why not us?
I think I've developed my own system here, Peter.
It's a good
I think
system.
I'm going to fade the Oakland Athletics in the first game of the series every time. I think I'm going to do it. They have lost their last 5 series openers in a row. The only one they won was on opening day where they beat the Angels 3-2. They've been outscored in series openers 54-26. They're currently on a 7-game losing streak. This is one of those games where I'm not going to overthink it at all. Give me the Rangers. They're at home. Also, too, I'm not even at the point of like I'm fading Oakland starting pitching. Their bullpen is bad. It doesn't matter who they throw out there. Even if their starter gives them 5-6 innings of maybe 3-4 run ball. I feel like you watch any of these A's game, you go to the 7th, 8th inning, and the opposing team has at least 8-9 runs. I mean, they score in the later innings because A's bullpen is so bad. Also, too, if you want to talk about the Rangers offense, they have put up double-digit runs in back-to-back games, and I don't see J.P. Sears as a pitcher that this lineup is going to fear. Also, Rangers opened up -180 favorite, now up to 205. But like I said, Rangers won 4 straight games, 6-3 at home. And I got the Rangers handling business tonight. And like I said, I like the team total over, and I like the run line. Win by more than 1. I just need you to win by more than 1 run. Come on.
It's so funny, too, because, you've been betting on the A's all the time. And obviously I like to keep track of your bets because you've been on fire. And it's like, oh, man, it's 3-3 in the 6th. Like, Tomas might not have this one. You go to the bathroom and it's 8-3 because some no-name out of Oakland's bullpen is just giving up missiles into the deck. So what am I going to say? You're rolling. You're fading the worst team in baseball.
I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing it until if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That is my motto, and I'm going to keep riding with it.
And you got plenty of money to play with by doing this. So you're kind of just rolling it over. And it's like if this is another good matchup, it's not like you're blindly doing it. You like John Gray. You don't think J.P. Sears is going to match up with him. And then we got the A's bullpen.
Yep.
See you later.
Simple enough.
Simple enough. You got one more?
Uno más.
Talk to us.
Boston Red Sox, Milwaukee Brewers, Nick Pivetta versus Freddie Peralta. And I see this as a perfect bounce back opportunity for Freddie Peralta. His last game was against I believe it was against the Padres, I think it was the Padres. Yeah, in San Diego. And we faded him in that spot. But I'm going to go back to Peralta in this one. Nick Pivetta comes in this game, 4.5 ERA. He gave up 600 runs in his last start. Freddie Peralta is obviously the better pitcher, 3.18 ERA. But when you really look at these numbers, Pivetta ranks in the bottom 1% of the league in hard hit percentage and has an expected ERA of 6.08, according to StatCast. He also ranks in the bottom of every StatCast percentage pretty much. He is in the bottom percentage. Nick Pivetta has had a couple good starts. His first 2, nothing special. But going to this matchup, he has to face the Brewers, who just swept Seattle on the road. They're looking for their 5th straight win. Also, too, let's get real. Freddie Peralta, he's nice. He's a good pitcher.
He is a good pitcher.
I enjoy watching him pitch. Also, too, he has a 20-10 record at American Family Field. He's pitching at home. It's a great bounce-back spot for Peralta, and I have him out-dueling Pivetta tonight. So give me the Brewers first half, -0.5 money. Let's go. Let's do it.
Feels like you might sweep the board.
Peter, you're thinking exactly what I'm thinking when I dialed these in this morning.
Come
I'm ready
on,
to sweep.
Tomas.
I want the 4-0. I want the 4-0. The
And you
Mets
deserve the
yesterday, they got me
4-0.
on track. The Mets got me on track yesterday. Let's close it out.
Atta baby, let's do it. Yeah, so make sure we just dropped your Twitter in the chat. But for anyone who's not reading the chat for whatever reason, plug your Twitter and then we'll welcome Aram back on.
Yeah, you guys can follow me on Twitter at T_Romo5. I'm also on TikTok as well, Tomas.Romo1. I post all my plays, other content, as well as everything I write for Just Baseball covering the Houston Astros. So, yeah, give me a follow. And, hey, Peter, let's win today.
Let's win today. Keep going, legend. Appreciate you, my friend. We'll talk to you next week. Enjoy your weekend.
Of course, you too, my man.
Absolutely. Now we welcome on Mr. Aram Doesn't Like Onions Layton. He's got to be in the queue somewhere. Hopefully that nice face. Look, he's got a little different light, and he still hates onions. How are you?
I still hate them, still avoiding them. Am I clear? Am I good? My computer sounded like it was going to blow up, but I literally did everything possible to make it easy on the computer. It's unbelievable how soft these Macs are.
It's insane. Like my Mac, I got it like a year and a half ago, and I got to bring it into the shop. I'm trying to figure out the best weekend because the battery just doesn't work. So, like, I don't even know if I'll be able to write articles next weekend because I have to bring it in because it's such a piece of garbage. But you know what's not garbage? 2-in-1 day from you yesterday. How about it? How about it? Go ahead, flash the leaderboard. Let people know where Arm is.
Yeah, chat was giving me a hard time on that under.
You want them to give you crap on plays because, like, I was on Trent's stream and love Trent to death, but I gave Manny Machado under fantasy. I think it was a couple days ago. Like, oh, Manny Machado just hit a home run. They're making fun of me. 1 for 4 with a single, blue pit. Come on. So you want them to chirp you. You want people to hate it. Those are the bets that hit.
I'm getting used to it. So we'll see how they feel about these today because we got a few different ones. I'll start with my favorite play, and I put it as one unit in the competition, but like for transparency's sake, the more that I've had to digest this, I'm personally putting 2 units on it. It's one that I think people are probably straying away from because on the surface, it's like 2 really good teams battling up and everyone wants to fade the bad team. Astros first 5 money line over the Braves. This is just a pure pitching matchup. And I just really like that the way that this pitching matchup swings towards the Bryce Elder. Bryce Elder has been very, very good. And we know that, right? Bryce Elder's been off to a great start overall. But he was an escape artist last outing. Yeah. And honestly, we've seen flashes of Bryce Elder doing this. He pitches well against bad teams. He holds his own against good teams. And that's kind of back into the rotation starter. For some reason, I feel like he's being priced in this game as if he is on the same level or somewhere close to Hunter Brown. I know the game is in Atlanta. Don't really care. So you look at the last outing that Bryce Elder had. He goes 5 1/3, 8 hits, 3 doubles, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks. That was against the Royals. Yeah. And he didn't pitch well. I went back and watched that. He skated by because it was the Royals.
Of course, he goes
6 and Sorry?
I just said couldn't agree with you more. I'm on the Astros team total over 4.5. I love the
Love that. That's great to hear. And then same thing with the Reds, right? He pitches against the Reds. He goes 6 1/3, 6 hits, was able to skate by, punched out 7 there. So he did the same thing last year, carved through the Marlins, carved through the National. That really bolstered his number. His velocity was down a full tick last outing. And I think with the way Hunter Brown was throwing over the last few games, I just think Hunter Brown's going to keep the Braves in check. And I think the Astros are going to be able to get to Elder for a few runs. I think they get 2 or 3 on Elder. I think it's going to be hard to get more than 2 or 3 or even close to that, against a really good Hunter Brown right now. Even with that Braves lineup looking really good. And I think that's why people are staying away from it. So give me first 5 money line at -110.
Love it, my man. The only reason I didn't take the Astros, because I just think they're going to win this game, is I was like, Hunter Brown is a little bit of a reverse splits guy.
Fair.
And the lefties in the Braves lineup are so good, like it doesn't matter. But then they have so many righties, so it's like, all right, I don't even want to deal with that. What I know, and I think what you know too, is why you like the Stros. Like, you like Hunter Brown, but I feel like both of us are looking at a Bryce Elder, watched his last start, saw him skate by against a subpar offense, and we are fading him in a market that is for some reason favoring him. Now, the Braves are amazing, right? You could say, well, are they favoring him because it's Bryce Elder? You could favor him because it's the Braves at home and they're the best team in baseball.
Exactly.
So I'm not personally dealing with that. And at least early, That's where the matchup is. So I couldn't back Houston first 5 more. I think it's a great play.
Wonderful. All right, that's good to hear. And then the next play, I feel like is a more square bet. I'm curious what your perspective is on this because you usually have a good feel for like where people are putting what and what the bet is. But I'm going Reds money line. That I obviously lost on the Reds yesterday, but Reds at plus 120 here against the Pirates again. We got Graham Ashcraft versus Tread legend Mitch Keller. I do think it's kind of wild that you have Graham Ashcraft as a plus. It is a little bit like of a red flag that with the way Ashcraft is throwing, the game is priced this way. And I think that might have scared some people away. But ultimately, the way that after the first was absolutely all Cincinnati Reds, the rest of that ball game.
It was.
The Pirates offense after the 2 home runs couldn't get anything going. Luke Weaver settled in and ended up shoving, but he gave up too much damage in that first inning. And we started to see the Reds bats get going. They threatened on several occasions. They started to look a lot better. I think they carried that momentum into this game where the starting pitching matchup favors them. Ashcraft has just been fantastic. Mitch Keller's fine, but I don't think he's going to overpower this Reds lineup as they started to seem to hit their stride there. At plus odds again, I like the odds here for the Reds. And I think the Pirates are starting to get priced like a winning team. And I don't think it's going to last that long. That's my other side of it, too.
Yeah, I could see that. My only worry with this game is that the Reds offense just never shows up against righties on the road. But at the same time, Ashcraft is a better pitcher, right? So you are getting plus money on the better starting pitcher, which is great, right? Now, do
Exactly.
I think it's
and
like
to your
and
point, I like the
value
under
on it?
Yeah. I plus 120 to pass up on.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get to your next play because you got 2 picks for us, and we're going with your third. What's going on?
Yep. So third pick is Orioles first 5 over we got the Tigers today. So it's -1/2 run at -110. Michael Lorenzen was a disaster in his first outing.
Yeah, I bet on him.
And this is just a straight fade of Michael Lorenzen. To me, Tyler Wells is a serviceable starter. I think he almost fits your like get outs bucket of guys that you put in there.
He is. He's like the definition of that guy who doesn't strike out a ton of guys, but tons of soft contact. And like against a Tigers team, like he matches up really well. And Michael Lorenzen looks like a pitching machine. Like thanks for the L.
Yeah, he
last time I bet on him.
really looks like a pitching machine. I just don't really like this Tigers offense at all, especially on the road against Baltimore. This is just a straight fade of Lorenzen. I don't even think he makes it through the first 5. Wells, like, is he going to go? You know he's going to keep the game in check, and I feel like this Orioles offense, especially at home, is going to jump all over a struggling Lorenzen who barely got through a few innings in his last outing. So to me, this one was a pretty obvious one. What was the public on for this one, Pete? Because like this one almost felt like a little bit almost of too much of like low hanging fruit for a bet.
Like, yeah, but right. Remember we talked about the Pirate. Like, we also have to consider too, like, is this the obvious play? Kind of. But at the same time, it fits, like, it makes sense baseball-wise. And you got to roll with that, right? Tyler Wells is objectively better than Michael Lorenzen. You ain't tailing the bullpens. Like, for example, Michael and the Orioles are always undervalued in the market. That's what happened last year. It's happening again this year. So, for example, I remember last time I tailed Michael Lorenzen, and I had the Tigers through the first 5 and the money line. Luckily, they ended up hitting the money line because they came back late, but you don't have to worry about that. The point is Michael Lorenzen, and he just straight up doesn't look good. Do I like the Orioles with Adley Rutschman, Cedric Mullins, Ryan Mountcastle, or do I like the Tigers and Michael Lorenzen and Nick Maton? Like, there's your answer. So it's like if you lose this one, like, this is the right baseball play. Yeah, is there 80% of bets on the Orioles? Yeah, but there was 88% on the Pirates yesterday, and they won. Like,
yeah,
that just happens. So in a game like this, you know, if we were looking at Sunday Night Baseball, I'd be like, yeah, maybe take a good look at this. But like an 8 o'clock game, Tigers, Orioles, like people are on the Orioles because that's the play. So I think it's a good play.
All right. That makes me feel a little better.
And the line move in your direction, too. So it's like people are putting on Orioles. Vegas sees a liability, so they changed the line a little bit.
That makes me feel better because I did feel like that was one where when I was like, that's almost too obvious. It almost seems too obvious. But sometimes that's the one that hits. Like,
And when
said,
you really
that
know
is-
baseball like yourself, like
and
I've been
that
getting
might
into
once
this.
run like that.
Oh no. Basically, what I was saying is, and this has been my trouble too, is that sometimes I think a play is so obvious because like we know everything about Tyler Wells. The general public doesn't really know who Tyler Wells is. So it's not like, and I get into the same thing too. Like I've not made bets on games that were so obvious that was the play. And I've stayed away because I'm like overthinking it. When in reality, like Tyler Wells is a much better pitcher than Michael Lorenzen. The Orioles are better and they're at home. If you lose, like you just take that on the chin because more often than not, that's going to hit.
I'll tip my cap.
Tip your cap. That's all you can do. Aram, can you tell the people to go check out your top 100 because it is phenomenal?
Yeah. Yeah, go check out the top 100 list, justbaseball.com, top 100 prospects. Put a lot of time into that. Really appreciate that. And you can follow me on Twitter at RMLateNate, first and last name as it is right there, and the number 8. And hopefully we stay positive. I think I'm up 1 unit right now. We got to stay positive. I don't want to see a red next to my name. That's my goal for the season. That's it. I just need to be in the
Absolutely. So we're looking at Aram being up 1.11 units. Let's get to 3 today. 4. How about
Let's do it.
Let's do it, my friend. Thank you again, and we'll see you this weekend, bro.
Thank you, sir.
Peace out, dude. Who else we got in queue?
We have no one left in queue. Ben and mid-major we're waiting for. We don't know.
All right, we're still waiting for Ben and mid-major.
I haven't heard from them though. So
Haven't heard from him, but hopefully we'll.
I think there's 11 or 10 picks between the two of them.
Yeah, and they have 10 picks, so you'd hope that they would come on stream. I think mid-major said that he's not. Let me give Ben a text.
Should we start with mid-major's picks then?
No, we'll just answer some questions in the chat. Hey there, Peter. Can you remind me the name of the app where you guys post your picks again? I'm on late today. Oh, the Pickett Sports app. Download the Pickett Sports app. They should. I don't know if they're on there right now because we're still working out how we're tracking those plays. But what we do know is that everyone on Twitter, like if you go follow all the cappers, they all obviously post their plays that you can see. But me personally, I'm on the Astros team total over and the Mets team total over, and I got a prize picks entry with Willie Adames over fantasy and Lou Bob under fantasy. Garrett Mitchell could miss the rest of the season with an injury. That's not good. Also, am I blurry? I see on my Twitch stream I'm a little bit blurry. Can anybody in the chat let me know if I'm blurry? It might just be my computer. I'm just curious.
Ben just said he can't make it.
Ben can't make it? Okay. Not blurry? Okay, perfect. All right, let's go over Ben Carey and mid-major's plays.
Who do you want first?
We'll do mid-major. So mid-major, if you could flash the leaderboard real quick to show where mid-major is on it, because he is rocking and he is rolling. He is rocking and he is rolling. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Mid-major.
His name's Matt.
Yeah, his name's Matt, as you can tell. 7th place, up a cool 3 units. And let me scroll to his plays. Yeah, we're looking at Seattle, St. Louis under 8.5. He thinks George Kirby pitches well, as does Steven Matz. Interesting play. Minus 130. He's got 1.3 units on it. Pretty solid. We'll see. Colorado team total under 3.5. Huh? He thinks the Rockies are going to get demolished today by Aaron Nola and company. I like this play. I don't love it. It's pretty low. But again, we'll see. Right? I don't know. I don't have really a lean on this one. I do kind of like the Nerfy in this game. I think Noah Davis flashed a really good changeup, and I obviously love Aaron Nola. I could see the Nerfy hitting and this Colorado team total under hitting. He's also going to be on Astros first 5 money line. Probably a pretty solid play, right? Arm and I talked about it. I'm on the Astros team total over. Arm's on the first 5. I think it's going to hit. I think this is one of the best plays on the board today. But he's also on a couple of team total unders. He's taken the Tigers team total under 3.5. Interesting. He thinks Tyler Wells and the company shuts him down. Arms on Baltimore Orioles first 5 -0.5 or first 5 money line. You can see the Tigers just not putting up much of a fight today. And then he's on the Nationals. Team total under 3.5. 3.2 units. You heard that correctly. 3.2 units on the Nationals team total under at -160. Before we get into Ben Carey's plays, I want to check that price right now. So, because I think it might have gone in the direction that he hoped, but I want to see it for myself. How many runs? You know, it's still at -160, so you could still get that price. He's putting 3.2 units on it. I like it because Tyler Mahle, I think, has a very good matchup today against them. It's supposed to be cold, horrible conditions for bats. And the Nationals can't hit right-handed pitching. I assume that would be his pitch, so I think it's pretty solid. Let's move on to Ben Carey's plays because he's got a billion. Unfortunately for Ben, he is at the bottom of the leaderboard as we sit here today. He is currently down 5.46 units. You don't love to see that, but at the same time, Ben knows his stuff. Slow start. It's all right. We'll get back to it. All right? He's got 5 plays for us. 6. I didn't even mean 5. That was a joke. He has 6 plays, and they got to all hit. Let's go over them. So we'll start with Baltimore moneyline.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, he's got 1.4 units on it at -175. We talked about it. We know about it. Tyler Wells season against Michael Lorenzen and company. Probably hits. Do I understand his unit structure? 1.4 units on a 175 line? Not particularly. Do I think it's going to hit? Yes. What?
I understand.
Oh no, I'm just looking. Yeah, I'll look straight. Arizona first 5 money line. Interesting. Zach Gallen. He's tailing him against Seth Lugo. So it's interesting. I don't know how well they're going to do against Seth Lugo today. Tailing Zach Gallen at that price, I don't mind it, especially first 5 money line. Little sketchy. I don't know exactly how that game's going to go. Little sketchy, but it is what it is. How about the Los Angeles Angels first 5 through -0.5? Who's pitching this game again? The Angels are playing. Who are they playing? The Angels. Oh, it's Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani against Taylor Clark. Yeah, good luck, Royals. What did he get it at? Angels first 5. Oh my God, he put 1.85 units. He better hit that one. I see why. It's Ohtani against the Royals who can't hit. Wow, he better hit that one. That's going to be interesting. Ooh. Wow, that's a big bet. Let me check the price on that for everybody right now before we move on to his next play. Because that is a doozy. 1.85 units. What is it right now? Oh my gosh. You can get it at -1.5 at -105 on BetMGM right now. I don't even think they're offering that. We'll see. Tons of juice. I don't know how you guys feel about that one. I hate it personally. I'm going to be honest with Ben. I hate it. I mean, it probably hits, but like, that's a toughie. How about Oakland first 5, though? 0.6 units. I don't really understand Ben's unit structure.
His units for his next bet.
Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah, his unit structure is nuts. But I know he's smart and I know he knows his baseball. I don't know. I'm not here to speak for the man. 0.6 units at +165 against the Rangers. I don't really have any words. Let's move on to Phillies first 5. This is crazy. I mean, this is crazy, Ben. Look at that. What is that? I mean, it might hit. You couldn't even take a -0.5? What? Might hit. Who am I to say it won't? Can I know in the chat what you guys think about these plays? Didn't he mess up Smiley's though? Yes, he did. It was his fault. His chat in our Twitch stream ruined Drew Smiley's perfect game. It ruined it. You can blame Ben. Now, do I understand this bet? Not particularly. I don't get it. I mean, it's to win. I don't even know it's to win. It's like to win half a unit?
But why 160?
Yeah, why 1.65?
Doesn't make any sense.
It's kind of fun though, right? We're just going through these plays. All right, last one. I wouldn't take that. I mean, I don't know what I wouldn't take it. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, first 5 under 4.5. Mitch Keller, Graham Ashcraft. Why not us? Why not us? Damn, love Ben, but there's probably a reason. Nah, he's good. He's good. I don't understand his unit structure. I can kind of get behind the plays, but like the units, I don't really understand it. But then again, who am I to understand, right? We're here to try and give you winners. So that'll do it for Friday's episode of Not Gambling Advice, the baseball betting stream. Make sure to download the Pickett Sports app that is in the episode description. LMAO, it's called Kelly Criterion. It's how a lot of professional MLB bettors bet. I'm down. Cowboys, why don't you come on stream if you're typing in the chat? You explain to us. Explain to us. I had to pull over to the side of the road to defend myself. We need you on stream to explain. We need you on stream to explain, or else I'm going to roast you. Just like I did mid-major. If you don't show up, you get the coward treatment. Yeah, you're probably busy with work because you're a successful man. But I'm selfish. And I want to make fun of people who don't show up on stream. It's nothing to do with you. Well, it does right now. But it mostly has everything to do with everybody else. All right? Ben's behind his unit structure. I don't get it. But it's not for me to get. Right? It's for him to pick winners. And we love Ben. And he's going to continue to give it to us. That's the truth. I make fun of Ben, but I do love him. All right, that'll do it for this episode. Have a great weekend, everybody. Of course, you can find all my picks on the weekend at justbaseball.com, on my Twitter, on my TikTok, everything. Love you guys. We'll be back Monday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully, you guys all enjoy the weekend. Hopefully, you enjoyed the holiday yesterday. But we have to remember,